Put your thumb up when we are. Okay, good evening, everyone. Evening, Cabinet members, officers. Welcome to the last Cabinet meeting of this administration. So, wow, it's been a really busy and challenging 4 years. So, I'd like to personally thank all of Cabinet for everything they've done individually and as part of the team over the last 4 years. I'd like to thank all the officers in the senior leadership team and the committee clerks, etc., who have supported Cabinet in making some very difficult and challenging decisions, but also making some really good decisions which were enjoyable and changed their lives in a really positive way for lots of residents in the borough. And I think the work we've done around businesses has really been exemplary in supporting businesses. We've completely changed in the right way the relationship with business and the Chamber of Commerce, and that's something that's really positive. Yeah, so it's some of us are not standing, so people know that I'm not standing because of illness. Candice is not standing, so she won't be back in May. I won't be back in May. The rest of you are still fighting the good fight, so good luck with that. But just say on a personal note to thank you so much. I'm very proud of everything you've achieved individually and as a team, and we've achieved. We've dealt with financial challenges which have been second to none at the start of the administration in 2018. The worst financial position that local government had ever been in since its existence. We've dealt with that. And then we dealt with the pandemic. And I know all of you spent many, many hours and days working within your portfolios to make sure that all of the teams were supported politically and managerially to make sure that we could do the best for our residents and businesses. And it's been a fantastic achievement. And of course, winning Council of the Year was the icing on the cake. And it demonstrated that other people, other than us saying it, believed that we were and are the best council in the UK. So that's really something positive and really something to be proud of. And I would want to wish you all the best for the future, either if you're in politics, if you're staying in politics. And I'm sure that, and I hope that there'll be someone in this room will become the new leader of the council, and it will be under a Labour of the Labour group, and it will be under a Labour administration after the 5th of May. And I'm sure, I'm positive, I've got good vibes that will be the case. And I should say that I'd like to thank the Tory opposition for being the opposition. Well, obviously, we've not always agreed with them. In fact, we disagree with them 99.9% of the time. But that's how politics is. But what we did agree, and we worked closely together, and we shouldn't forget that, is that they were very supportive of us, and we of them when we made some of the difficult decisions in relation to the pandemic. And they worked well. We all worked as a council, cross-party, I think, as a team during the pandemic. So I'd like to thank Joel McGregor and the other Tory councillors for their support and input in how we dealt with the pandemic. Well, we should get on to business now, shouldn't we? Yes, everyone happy with that? Right. Well, let's get down to business. So this is just to restate, this is the last cabinet meeting of this administration. There's a date in the diary which is provisional for April, but will only be used in an emergency. And I was just discussing with Catherine and Lily that if there's anything emergency, we just use emergency powers to deal with it anyway. So this will be unless someone tells me otherwise, the last meeting, cabinet meeting of this administration. Apologies. I've got apologies from Prittam, and I've got lateness from Hanif. Okay. Anyone got any declarations of interest? Okay, minutes of the meeting held on the 8th of February, this is page 6 to 12, and I'll take them together for matters arising in any inaccuracy. Okay. Am I looking at the right ones? Is it page 6? Or am I getting this wrong? Pages 6 to 12, I thought. Sorry, I'm just... Sorry, yeah, just the way it's set out. Okay, page 6 then. Matters arising on the inaccuracies. Page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9. Sing out if you've got anything. Page 10, page 11. Oh, page 11, Tom.
Agenda item number 8. I'm not sure who Councillor Tom Bath is, but I assume that was meant to be Lily.
Well done, Tom. You don't get a gold star, though, for that. Okay, page 11 with that amendment and page 12. Everyone happy for me to sign? Thanks very much. Okay. And then we'll move on to our agenda item 3, which is community solutions. I think that's Catherine and Lily. Is that correct?
Thank you, Leader. So I'll present the report, and Councillor Dunn, Catherine will second it and also contribute as well. So what I'm asking you to do today, so I'm being a bit distracted as Hanif, you're here. So this report is for you to note all the progress that we've made in our approach to community solutions. And so you'll remember that following the closure of the hub after the pandemic, we decided that we would have an approach to help our residents, because one of the things that we noticed is that as people had approached the community hub for help, we recognised that there were quite a lot of challenges and complex problems amongst some of our communities, and it was important that we find a way forward to help them, and with a great focus on early prevention and from preventing problems from escalating and causing more costs later. So this is really a very innovative and a preventative approach to supporting our residents, and it really is. Since we discussed this and brought a paper to Cabinet last June, we've actually done quite a lot in terms of there's quite a lot of face-to-face out in the community. We've actually got a presence here at Hounslow House as well. We've got a digital online connection, and there is going to be obviously more work to make ourselves more visible within the community. I think it's a tremendous way forward. We've really kind of been able to take some of the issues that came out of the pandemic that are really important to our communities and really find a way of working collaboratively with all our partners. There's some really good examples of some of the work that's been done. I know it's in development, but I think quite a lot has been achieved over the last year. And what I'd really like is for you to note the progress that we've made today, but also to agree the kind of operating model that we want in terms of going forward. And that's in 6.1 and 6.4. And also to prove the next steps relating to how we actually have redesigning routes in terms of referral, which will be quite important. So all really good stuff here. I'm absolutely delighted with this, and I want to thank everybody who's really been on board with this, because I think this is truly a really important way forward in terms of making sure that we are really able to support all our residents in a focused and a preventative way. So I'll move the report, and I don't know whether Councillor Dunn, who's also been involved in it, would like to second it.
Thanks, Lily. Yeah, I will second the report and just say a few brief words just to add to what Lily said. I think this is, it's an incredible amount of work that's been done already on this, and this moves us to the next stage, which is really important. So the key things going forward and is the further development of the digital platform that's already been introduced, which is Hounslow Connect, which enables people wherever they are to get in touch, find information about services and our partners and so on. We know that not everyone is digitally connected, and so the new development that we're proposing here as well is to extend the in-person offer out across the borough. So not saying you either go online or you come to Hounslow House, but actually you go online or you go somewhere that is close to you. And hopefully people have seen that that's already started happening, but it's going to be extended further, and that gets advertised daily as to where the team will be and how people can access it. So I think that's really important, really exciting, and part of our commitment to reaching everyone in the borough, whatever their circumstances. This really is about enabling people to live independently. It's a key part of the programme, and it adds on to our preventative approach that we're trying to implement across council services to help people to deal with issues before they arise, stop issues arising, stop things becoming a problem, and basically helping our residents to lead healthier, happier lives.
Okay, thanks very much, Catherine and Lily. Any comments or questions, anyone? If not, we'll move to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you very much. That's unanimous. We now move on to public space protection orders. Catherine.
Thanks, Leader. So the public space protection order. So as part of our Safer Communities strategy, we've been engaging with communities via a consultation, a survey relating to the proposal for a new borough-wide public space protection order, PSPO. We have previously had a similar order in place. These last for 3 years at a time and then have to be renewed. The last one expired last year in 2021. And we have done some analysis of how, the effect that has had. It's quite difficult to pinpoint exactly and put exact numbers on it and things, but we do consider it to be a helpful tool that we can use alongside other measures, working with our communities to keep Hounslow a low crime borough and a safe place to live, work, etc. So just to touch very quickly on what it actually does. So it's the public space protection order is to prevent antisocial drinking around the borough. So if people are drinking alcohol and engaging in antisocial behaviour, then this order allows the police to intervene, allows our officers to intervene to prevent further drinking, further antisocial behaviour. The use of this will be monitored through the Community Safety Partnership to make sure it's being used in a way that really does target antisocial behaviour, and it's not simply there to target people who are just enjoying themselves and not creating any problems for anyone else. So I think we can say that it has been successful so far. We're very keen to get this new one in place so that the police and our officers can get on with doing their jobs.
Thank you. So you've moved the report, Catherine. I'm happy to second the report. And just to say, I'm very pleased this has come through. I think it just adds to our armoury in dealing with antisocial behaviour where alcohol is involved. And this is not to stop individuals or groups or families enjoying our lovely green open spaces, of which there are 21 green flag parks. It's not to stop them having a beer or a glass of wine. It's just to stop those people who just go beyond the pale and are antisocial involving drink. So I think it's a good tool that the council with our partners, including the Metropolitan Police, can use effectively to make people feel safer and happier. Thank you. Okay, we move to the vote. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now move on to agenda item 5, which is the future management of schools caretaking services. Page 51. Here we go. So the short paper. What this does, in a nutshell, is regularise the arrangements around the former caretakers' houses, which are either in the curtilage of schools, if that's the right term, or outside. And there's been this anomaly for some time now. This paper sets out clear guidance on how that will be dealt with. And one of the things that I think brought this to the point where we needed a cabinet report is that around the health and safety and the management of those buildings and who was in them, how they were being used, and more importantly, making sure that they were fit for purpose and safe for people to use. So that's it in a nutshell. It's just to regularise the arrangements. Schools are very clear about their roles and responsibilities in relation to these properties, and so are we. So I'm happy to move it. Tom, would you like to come in on that?
Yeah, I'm happy to second it. And just to say, where we have taken over control of some of those former caretaker houses, all the schools have been consulted. And for the ones that are described here, where that may be what we look at doing in the future, those schools will have full consultation as well and be involved in the process to make sure it's understood exactly what the school's requirements are, what they may have invested previously, and what the council needs from those houses. So yeah, a really good report, and fulfills some of the goals we have around our housing needs. I think is important there to say.
Okay, thanks very much. Any comments or questions, anyone? No? Okay, move to the vote. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Move on to agenda item 6, which is the budget monitoring report. Shantanu.
Thanks, Leader. This is the regular budget monitoring report, which gives you the headlines for Cabinet, posting a modest underspend in this, but actually a lot of detail in this report around sort of the budget monitoring within areas on the HRA, and also what's happening in the capital programme as well, which is quite important for information. Obviously, we're about to go off and go and knock doors and the like, so it's important that the public at large are aware that we carry on the work in the background, and officers keep the council ticking over into the new administration to give them as healthy a position as possible. Move the report. Leader.
Thanks, Jan. Happy to second the report. Anyone else like to make any comments? No? Okay, we go to the vote then. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Okay, agenda item quickly 7. Performance report. Where's the councillor for the performance report? I suppose I think you should do it. Pritham's not here, is he? I'll do it. Let me find it. A parting gesture. 109, isn't it? Okay, so we're asked to note the performance report, and it clearly demonstrates progress towards the council's corporate plan and outcomes as set out in March 2021. And it looks at the key service performance measures for 21-22 as agreed by Cabinet, so and set out by the council performance for this year to date. So we're just asked to note that, I think, aren't we? Yeah. So any comments or questions? And Lily, would you like to second the report?
Yeah, I'm happy to second it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments and questions? No? Okay, we move to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you very much. And thank Pritham for his work on that. It's not an enviable job doing performance reports and monitoring, but he's stuck with it for the last 4 years, and well done to him for that. Okay, Guy, moving on to trading companies performance report.
Thank you, Leader. Yes, we're asked to note the report. the trading companies continue operationally to deliver on most measures. Most measures are assessed as green. A couple are assessed as red. One is to do with void periods in Coelho in void periods in council houses. This is because the houses are in worse condition than is expected. The other is to do with leisure centre membership, and I'm pleased to say that that's gone dramatically much better in January, and due to partly because it's partly seasonal, but partly also because they've changed the terms and attracted a lot of new members. So that's very good.
Guy, can I just interrupt you? As promised many cabinet meetings ago, that we all agreed we'd sign up to become a member of the leisure services. I can now say that I did that because I did it yesterday. So I would expect all of cabinet to fulfil their pledge and do that by the 5th of May. That'd be nice.
Well,
I got it for £37 because I'm old.
yes, me too.
Well done, Guy.
Yeah.
I feel fit already. I've not even been there.
So financially, there are continuing pressures on the companies, mainly obviously due to COVID. Doesn't help when the leisure centres are closed and they can't actually generate any revenue, which they have been for most of the year. And there's great cost inflation, of course. The HGV driver cost inflation is well understood, and the cost inflation in building materials too. So there's a lot of that they're keeping on. They're keeping the performance going, and we should note the report.
Happy to second that, but I would also add that these are difficult times for any company. They're just as difficult for us with our companies as it is for any other business, and we need to keep evolving and changing and adapting to the new situation we find ourselves. So we've got massive rises in utility costs, parts and materials. So everyone's facing the same problem. And quite rightly, Guy mentions the difficulties that leisure services faced during the lockdown and the shutdown. But let's not forget that we brought all of these services back in-house as well in a very short space of time. And all of the teams in the companies and officers in the council did a great job. So I'm very happy to second the report. Any other questions or comments? No? Can we move to the vote then? All those in favour? Thank you. Trading companies business plan.
Right, yes, so I'm introducing the latest version of the trading company's business plan, which is brought to Cabinet once a year. So it's extending by another year to 2026-27. And we want the Cabinet to agree to the new business plans and to agree to delegate to the Executive Director of Finance, etc., to continue to monitor them. The business plans for the Lambton companies are ambitious. They're really ambitious, but they're realistic. I've spent quite a lot of this week going through some of the detail underlying it, and it's very impressive the amount of work that's being done to move forward on, dozens of different fronts. The intensive work of our recent years has put the companies in a strong place to progress, based on their track record of delivering reliable and high quality services at highly competitive cost, whilst prioritising social value and delivering benefits to the local economy and residents. There are risks associated with local authority trading companies, which are well understood. Some of them have come to grief in recent years. We're well aware of the need to manage these and robust challenge via the vigilance of the Executive Director, the Shareholder Board, which he chairs, the regular performance reports that we bring to Cabinet, and the annual review of the business plan, I think puts us in good stead. And there is also robust risk management within the companies themselves. I think that's really all I've got to say. we have supported them. They've got into a very good state. They've taken back, as the leader says, a lot of services from the private sector that have been delivered, I think, much better and more cost effectively. And the business plan builds on the foundations that have been built. And I anticipate there'll be great success coming from these companies over the coming years of the business plan. Thank you.
Thanks, Guy. Happy to second report and agree with everything you've said. New challenges ahead of it. We talked about costs, etc. But we have to face them. And I know that our companies will adapt and change and grow and develop and be more sustainable than what they are now. So looking forward to the future with those. Okay, any other further comments or questions? No? Okay, we go to the vote. All in favour? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to agenda item 10, which is risk management strategy, and that's Councillor Rajawat.
Thank you very much, Leader. So this is a refresh of our risk management strategy in light of all our activity in One Hounslow. It looks fundamentally at how we how we identify risk, where it's managed and how it's managed. We are investing in a new system that will help us achieve that, but also as part of this and as part of the sort of changing culture with the One Hounslow programme, it's looking to embed risk as an everyday thing that we all sort of understand at the correct level and mitigate against at the correct level as well. So it's a thorough piece of work. It's a good piece of work. It will be reported to the audit committee at regular intervals, and I'm sure come back here as well at regular intervals. But I think it's a good piece of work, and it builds on the successes we already have in risk. So move it, Chair.
Thanks, Shan. Happy to second report and just add, I think it's, again, it's a very good report. It's timely. We shouldn't be afraid of risk. We should be confident that we can manage risk and mitigate risk and instill that confidence with our teams so they understand about managing risk. It's not something to be frightened of. It's something to accept, embrace and then manage. And I'm delighted that this again strengthens our position on managing risk. So happy to second report. Any questions or comments? No? All those in favour then? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now move on to agenda item 11. This is for Pritam. Again, it's a bit about risk. So it's the formally adopt the corporate health and safety policy, corporate health and safety policy for 2022, as recommended by the Licensing and General Purpose Committee. Again, I think it builds on the work we've already undertaken around risk and health and safety. And we've all, I think, learned a lot about health and safety in the last 2 years we deal with the pandemic in all its forms, ensuring that our staff, wherever they were working, whatever they were doing, were working safely, and for the companies as well. So I'm absolutely delighted we've got that here. And I formally move the report on behalf of Councillor Garrawell. Councillor Bath, would you like to second it?
I'm happy to second it. Thank you.
Yeah. Any further comments or questions? No, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. I've got no other referrals to council committees, no other urgent business. And as you see on agenda item 14, there is a provisional date, but it's all. Oh, we want to say things. Oh, okay. There's some urgent business. So other than, as is already stated, it's almost certainly we will not have a meeting in April. So we can we take that out of the council diary now? Or are we subject to consultation with appropriate individuals? Yes. Okay. I don't want anyone to think that there's another meeting. Right. Who had their hand up first? Lily.
Thank you, Leader. As this is our last Cabinet meeting, I just wanted to record a vote of thanks to the Leader for all his hard work over the last 8 years, and particularly over the last 4 years, and also your support to me as a deputy leader. Obviously, you know, sometimes I've shouted at you and and I kicked you under the table, but it's been an incredible it's been an incredible journey, and I want to thank you and the Cabinet for all the hard work over the last 4 years. particularly the last 2 years, in terms of the challenges that we've had with the pandemic. And you've shown some incredible leadership, very stable and strong leadership, which was absolutely needed during a very difficult time. And I know we've got some challenging times ahead of us with regards to how we support our communities with the cost of living crisis and everything else that is going to be thrown at us. But I think it's fair to say, and I'm sure that everybody here would agree with me, that you have set down the foundations for some really, for us to build on, to make Hounslow even better. And of course, the work that you did and the work that we did and the council did was obviously recognised with us achieving Council of the Year. But I think it's really important to recognise and to really say thank you for doing a great job over the last 4 years, last 8 years, and really to wish you all the very best with your health, and hope you manage to relax. And of course, you can always join online and watch cabinet meetings or council business. But yeah, I'm sure you will if you get bored. Well, you're a member of the leisure centre now, so you won't. Yeah. Thank you.
You go.
Thank you so much. I think I was going to say exactly the same thing, but adding in a big thank you to you from a lot of people I've recently been speaking to, that you did a great job for 8 years, particularly as Lily has said in pandemic, and supporting each and every one of us in the cabinet, giving us the good advices. I know we've had ups and downs with decision makings, but it was great. But at the same time, I will miss my ward colleague, Candice Atherton, and I would like to say thank you very much to her for all the hard work. She'll be always missed, but thank you for her work, what she has done for our residents in Hanworth and as a ward councillor for Hanworth. Thank you.
Sammy, Guy.
Thank you, Leader. Well, I was going to say much the same, but I have to say it slightly differently because I have to be nice to you because I'm seeking your vote in a few weeks' time, and as one of the most annoying residents in my ward, and hopefully one of the most annoying residents in my ward to come if re-elected. You've been a fantastic leader. It's been a privilege to serve with you. I'd also like to say something about our officer team. We're not Council of the Year just because of the leader and the cabinet. We're Council of the Year because there's been an excellent relationship between the politicians and the officers, I think, that's a tribute to you, and it's a tribute to all of our officer team. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Guy, very kind. Okay, Candice, you want to say anything? Well, you're going. You might as well. It's your last chance. You've not said anything at this cabinet meeting
I didn't
yet.
put my hand up. No, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Steve. It's been great to work under you. I talk a lot about leadership, and I'm not willing to serve under a leader that I don't have respect for. So it's been really good to be able to come to work each day with having respect for the person I'm serving under. It's been an absolute privilege working with all the directors and lead officers that I've worked with under my portfolio. I didn't expect that I'd be making a speech, but I'm really sad to go, and it was a really, really difficult decision, but I'm still going to be a resident in Hounslow. I'm still going to be involved in activism and supporting you all to continue to make Hounslow a better place, and I look forward to what is to come from all you future leaders. It sounds very exciting that the next leader might come from these very seats. So yeah, I might start putting my bets on. No, thank you. This should be about Steve. I didn't think it was going to be about me at all. But you've been wonderful, and we've learned a lot from you as well. And also, I'm grateful that you put your trust in me to step into a role on the cabinet, and it's been a really good learning process and a great experience. Thank you.
Well, go on then. I'll say thank you to you as well. It has been a great privilege. But the wide number of people that we haven't said thank you to, the wider staffing team who obviously have contributed to us being Council of the Year, who, when I get to meet them in various jobs that they do, always impress me. They are fantastic. And I do think most of all the residents. I mean, we don't always agree with each other. Politicians and the wider resident groups and officers don't always agree with each other, but clearly they have given us their support broadly over the last 12 years and 8 years of Steve's leadership. And we find, I know when I go knocking on doors and I go talking to residents and meet residents in various different ways, that they are happy generally with what the council is doing, what we are trying to do for this borough, moving it forward, making it better, making their lives easier in many ways. And we don't always get it right. I will hold my hands up. We don't, but we try. And that's what we're here to do. And we are here to listen, and we are here to, support people and make things better. And I know that's been Steve's ultimate aim, giving people homes, giving people jobs, supporting them, getting on with their lives. And broadly, that is what we have done. And I'm very, very proud of that. And I know we all are and should be. Thank you, Steve.
Crying. Oh, Hanif.
No. So I did want to say something, and even though I hadn't planned anything, whenever we talk about someone leaving and moving on, and I think in this situation there is a ship that you've been steering, and I must say that ship that left its port has been going in the right direction, and it's been gaining lots of momentum. And we see that, and as the engines are turning, you see that through all the hundreds of different plates that have been spinning. And if each one of us just look at our own respective portfolios, and then we look at the plates that we've got spinning in those, at the end of the day, there is someone who ultimately is steering us. And that's the way, I want to kind of say thank you for that. And when we look at our ambitions that we've got now for our residents, nearly 300,000 people, that there alone is our priority. And when we look at the challenges that they go through, and we are also members and we live in this ward as well, and we go through those same challenges, and then we understand them, and we all have our own personal difficulties, and some of us have them through our family, our work effects that we need to do. But actually, when you look at it, what we have done as a group, and that you've led, we have really put our residents first in everything we've done. And every single administration has a different set of priorities. And to be able to understand what those priorities are for our residents has to come from leadership, right? And when we look at those hundreds of plates, which ones do you choose? Which ones do you prioritize? And even when I look at my portfolio and the challenges that I've been through with my colleagues and the decisions that we may have come up with, we're thinking, right, this is what we need to do. But sometimes, you've given it a different approach. And I just wanted to end on saying that sometimes the ability to be able to reframe your thinking, not everyone can do that. And to be able to be taught how to reframe the way you look at something, it's a skill that sometimes you can learn, but if you're shown the way, then it becomes easy. And I thank you for that.
All right. Thanks, leader. I echo what everyone else has said. I remember for a past leader, when I made a speech when I was last on cabinet, you were the first one to criticize me. So I'm going to enjoy this one a little bit more. But, adding on a little bit from what Hanif said, I think legacy is a really, really important thing. We fight the good fight and we achieve a lot here. But actually, I think you've always had a vision, and no one can accuse you of not having a vision for Hounslow, an ambition for Hounslow, and that's really, really important. And that plays out with what is out there now. There are many out in our communities that may disagree with your vision, and our vision, and may well look at what we've achieved negatively. But actually, what I always come back to is the comments that you always make about the individuals that you met, those people that are vulnerable, that have moved into a new house from being overcrowded, those people that we helped in the pandemic who struggled to pay their bills, and building on what Hanif said, in terms of foundation, and what Lily said actually around the cost of living crisis, there are still people out there in future administrations that will fundamentally have to make a decision between heating their homes, eating, feeding themselves, or feeding their children, and that's not what our society is all about. And your legacy, in my view, and I said it at the budget meeting, and I'll say it again and again, is about what you leave behind and the ability of this council to be able to respond to those challenges in a constructive way. And that will go far further than your name might, in the nicest possible way, Steve. But you can really say that is my achievement on this council. And for that, I wouldn't say, Hounslow is poorer for you going, but Hounslow certainly owes you a debt of gratitude. In the same way that you owe a debt of gratitude to Hounslow for everything that it's given you. So, I do wish you every success in your recovery. I look forward to seeing you for a beer after the election, or at the count, perhaps, or an orange juice at that point. Not an orange juice. But yeah, I wish you all the best, and thank you for all the support you've given me.
Last one, and I'm not going to repeat what everyone else has said, but I just want to say I will really miss you as a ward colleague. You will definitely be missed as a councillor for Scion Ward, and I will of course miss working with you on the cabinet. I want to particularly thank you for the support that you've given me on the climate emergency agenda. And I've said this before, but when we declared that climate emergency, it wasn't just virtue signalling. It wasn't just this is the trendy thing to do. It was backed up by yourself, by the senior leadership team, by everyone putting resources into that agenda, and so that we've now got a whole new team that is looking at that. And because this is one of the big crises that we're facing, and we've had a housing crisis, and you've had a clear vision on that and what we need to do to provide council homes for people, and we've delivered so much on that. And then we've had the pandemic and everything that we've needed to deliver through that, but we've also got the climate emergency, and Hounslow is leading on this agenda, not just locally but across London and also across the UK, and I'm so proud of that. So thank you very much for allowing me to take that and run with it, and really to achieve something there. And finally, I would like to thank you for the support that you've given me of what's been quite a difficult time personally over the last 6 months, and especially these last few weeks.
It's very humbling, everyone, and thanks very much. But I just see, I'm trying to not use the analogy of a ship, but I will, as a captain of the ship. I'm obviously not going down with it. It's the opposite. I'm going to a nice port in the Bahamas somewhere, probably the Cayman Islands, with all the money that people think I've squirreled away. And I'm just getting off and I'm having a break. But it's been a really fantastic journey. We've kept tight as a team. If we were a football team or a rugby team, I was going to say cricket, but it's a bit better at the moment in the West Indies, isn't it, Tom? Yeah. We turned the corner. Peter's not happy. But if you use a cricket analogy or football analogy or rugby, we are a very tight team, and we've looked after each other. We've stuck together through thick and thin. The most challenges any cabinet would have faced since Hounslow came into being. No one has faced these challenges ever, and we've done it with some aplomb. You've done it with some aplomb, and of course the senior leadership team. Lily and I have been meeting staff coming back this week just to say hello, and they in this room, and they were enthused about coming back. They've embraced all of the changes as well. And as Tom said, it's not about the senior leadership team. It's not about the cabinet and the politicians. It's about all of those staff, whether they're cleaning the streets, stacking the shelves, portering here, all of the jobs that and we tried to go through some of the list yesterday. It's just too long. The different jobs that people do. You know, we still, I think one thing I would criticise us on is we still haven't banged the drum enough about all of the good things we've done and the complete range of services that we provide. It is a cradle to grave service we provide for people, and we've stuck to our principles, we've stuck to our values, and we've enhanced those values and we've enhanced those principles. So it's made it easy for me for being leader because I've got a good team. It's as simple as that. You know, we bedded Niall in, the new chief exec. He's come up mustard. So that was a good decision of me with the panel to select Niall. But it is about teamwork, and it's about trust, and it's about loyalty. So if any of you is a leader in the future, good luck with you for that if you are. Trust and loyalty, biggest thing. And votes, of course, always remember the votes. So I wish you all the best. And Candice, you're stepping away, did a marvellous campaign as the Assembly candidate for us. So sometimes in life you have to make the right decisions for you. It's the right decision for me. I know, speaking to Candice several times now about her decision, it's the right decision for her and her family. So wish you all the best. I'm still here to the 10th, so no one going into the office yet. Joking. You can use it, as always, you can use my office anytime. But anyway, wish you well, and best of luck for the future. Thank you. And that draws the meeting to a close. Thank you very much.